Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and we look forward to a robust session and bipartisan compromise and solution, especially on behalf of young kids and young children and their families. We're going to take a little transition here, and we're going to move from these very macro reflections from the Speaker and the Chief of Staff of Governor Dayton, and of course Nan's great remarks, and we're going to move into a set of panels that's going to help us understand more deeply what's happening on the ground in our communities and in the state, and what are some of the emerging innovative solutions that are coming from those on-the-ground leaders who are popping up everywhere in our communities. So I want to welcome to the podium my colleague Lulit Mola, and Lulit is going to introduce our performing artist.
Good morning. Before I say anything, I want to give a shout out to a Girl Scout troop that's here from West St. Paul, right there by the DJ. I think that it's pretty awesome that they're here this morning because there are future community leaders and policymakers. So welcome. We're so happy to have you. So as Frank mentioned, I am here to transition us and ground us a bit. And Chava Gabrielle, our spoken word performance artist, will help us do that. So Chava is a literary and performance artist. She indulges in the ideas of equity and justice, especially for women of color. And does this actively by focusing her work around healthy sexuality, racial justice, and education reform, with a life emphasis on caffeinated beverages. I also love coffee. Community and other people's winter sweaters. She hopes to bring all injustice to light, one cup of coffee, one poem, and one conversation at a time. So it is my honor to have Chava here to wake us up a bit. So welcome her.
Thank you. I really appreciate you all having me here. I'm not much for antidotes, so I'm probably just going to jump into the poem. I did want to say real quick, I was asked to focus more on hope, and when I think of hope, I think of our young people, and I think of power, and I think of what can we do to set a platform for our young people to feel like they have some power. And I think about who stories are being shared and what voices are being shown. And so while I'm reading this, I just want everybody to think about what can we do as educators, as providers, as policymakers, as people who engage with young people, what can we do to make sure that all youth, but specifically young people of color, young women, queer youth, youth living with disabilities, and immigrant youth can make sure that they can be heard. And this poem is titled Spines. We've been acting like these books were bound to save us, as if when we blow the dust off these covers that maybe we can finally learn to read these titles. We've been acting like these books were written for us, as if when they penned these stories that maybe they did not mean to, or they did mean to include us. We've been acting like these books couldn't have been written by us, as if when we opened our toolboxes, we discovered that maybe we were given a different set that we don't know how to use. The truth is, maybe schools were desegregated to keep black students away from black teachers. Someone decided we needed an equal play in his game when what we really need is a fair chance at survival. Haven't you seen the bodies piling up on these street corners? Hear the sirens of babies and mothers. These headlines are starting to look a lot like crosses burning on my screen. We've been acting like we don't know how to read these headlines, as if these words are brand new. We've been acting like these words are brand new, like nobody in 1955 saw letters to shape Negro boy killed for wolf whistle. We've been acting like we believe in this equal opportunity, as if We weren't handed a loaded deck to begin with. We've been acting like we can't tell that they've been feeding us lies in these lunch lines as if our tongues haven't been working. We've been acting like our tongues haven't been working, as if it was a requirement to chop them off before kindergarten. We've been acting like these books were bound to save us. We've been acting like these books hold the only stories worth hearing. We've been acting like we don't have stories of our own to tell. We've been acting like our fingers are broke, like we have been acting like we have run out of ink. I heard a rumor that they promised us shoes for the war. I heard another rumor that we're supposed to be pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. The ones that came with the shoes that we were promised. We never received any shoes. We've been acting like these books were bound to save us, and maybe they are. I guess that means we gotta make our own bootstraps, strip these books of their spines, and use the leather to construct shoes for each other. Thank you.